Welcome back to Trackside. I'm Carol Holden along with Sam Huff, and our guest is Steve Nevin, president of the Altitude Simulation Technologies. Steve, we were talking before about your altitude training system, the stall, and the fact that in light of a lot of the news within the thoroughbred racing industry with drugs and that, you had gotten a lot of calls and a lot of interest from people. I wonder if you could share with us some of the folks who are using your altitude simulation technology.
Well, sure. We have customers around the world, and one of the things that we found out when we got into this business, Carol, is that some of our customers, particularly when we started out, and particularly overseas, once they acquired the systems, they didn't really want us to publicize the fact that they had this technology. And so I can't talk about many of our overseas customers. But I can tell you, for example, Willie Mullins, who is the world-class steeplechase trainer in Ireland. I was on the phone with Willie this morning. He has a system, and we're looking carefully at two horses that he is rotating through the stall, each horse about 10 to 11 hours a day. And we're trying to get a real track record based on, the use of his particular horses. But we've got systems in Kentucky as well. We've got a system with Hassinger Equine in North Carolina, and we've asked specifically Hassinger to do a little research for us in addition to what's already out there. And what Hassinger has found, and it's very interesting, is that after one of their horses was at altitude about 10,000 feet for about 4 to 6 weeks, they found a significant reduction in lactate buildup and production. And as you probably know, that's really keen. I mean, that's very big with regard to inflammation of the horse's joints. It's very, very big factor for recovery time with the horses. And it's another indicator that altitude really promotes better oxidation at the skeletal tissue level, which is really where the benefit of altitude for equine can be found.
What's some of the criteria that the people who do have your stall, what do they use to determine which of their horses they want to try this out on?
Well, we're not sure. It's all over the chart, Carol. What I suggest to owners is an ideal candidate is a horse that's coming out of the gate, very strong, very fast. And is just having trouble and is just dying off at the end of the race. That's an endurance issue, it seems to me, and I think anecdotally that kind of horse might be the best candidate for an owner to recognize, if I can apply altitude training to this horse, the horse is not going to run faster, but the horse should run faster longer. And that's what altitude training is all about, is increasing that fatigue threshold. So we suggest to our owners, that's the kind of horse that might be an ideal candidate for you to see improvement right away. But it's all over the board. We've got older horses that are, kind of approaching the end of their career, and we've got top-notch horses that are in there where the owners are trying to get that extra edge.
Well, I'll say this to you, Steve. A lot of our customers live around Charlestown Racetrack, and a 4.5 furlong race, a 5 furlong race, and just about, a mile and an eighth as far as we can go. I don't think we'll be able to send you very many customers from Charlestown down there to Denver to breed this. And you might have to build one of those stalls at the Charlestown Racetrack if this works. I mean, we got some people with some money over there. Maybe they'll build one of these stalls for us.
Well, actually, that's an interesting point. I've talked to some people in the Charlestown area who have expressed an interest in this training system. We haven't yet secured their order. But, we also have quarter horse owners that are interested in this. I mean, sprinters. This is about aerobic power and conditioning. And, it's as important as sprinting that first 50 yards or 20 yards or whatever as it is running across the end of the field.
You got it. I mean, they got to get out of that gate and go.
That's
Steve,
it.
What's the time period with a horse in training? How long a period of time do they have to be in the stall so that it will be beneficial when they're actually competing?
That's a good question. We recommend that for race preparation, we'd like to have the horse at altitude, consistently on a daily basis, 10 to 11 hours a day for 4 weeks. longer is even better. Now, if the horse can get more exposure on a daily basis, then, you could probably get the maximum benefit in under 4 weeks. But for 10 to 12 hours a day, we recommend, 4 weeks of exposure as part of the overall training program. And if you can do it even longer, the better. Research has shown after about 6 weeks, the body, whether it's human or animal, is pretty much fully adjusted to altitude exposure, and you're probably not going to see many more physiological changes after that.
So you've had a horse on there for 6 weeks. He's running well. You take him off for 4 weeks, then you look for signs of change, perhaps, and maybe put him back on. Is that how it would work?
Yeah, particularly, the research that's been done with human athletes has shown that with the blood cell volume and with the benefits derived from the system, you're good for about, 2 to 3 weeks, and, then you're going to lose some of that edge. Of course, every body is different, but that's kind of the time frame. So, for example, for, NBA players and football players using our systems, if you're on the road a couple of days and you get back into that environment, you're going to be fine.
Okay.
You stumble. You got her. You got her stumbling now, Steve.
No, see, I was thinking of something that you had said during the break about sleeping at 9,000 feet. These are the people you're talking about, right?
Yeah, we have athletes in almost every sport who are sleeping at altitude using our systems. We've converted, in many cases, their bedrooms, just like the stall system.
All right, Steve, if you've got time, we'd like to talk with you a little bit more.
Okay, great.
I'm Carol Holden, along with Sam Huff. Our guest is Steve Nevin, president of Altitude Simulation Technologies, and we'll be right back.